All right, true crime fans, welcome back to the True Assassins podcast, the show that takes you deep into the world of true assassins. I'm Adrian Smith, and I'm here with the incredible Julia Jones.
Thanks for having me, Adrian.
Julia, always a pleasure.
I'm excited to dive into this case. It's one that really makes you question everything.
You've sent us some intriguing source material for this episode. I gotta say, this story's wild. It's about a devout assassin, someone who believes she's carrying out God's will, who ends up teaming up with the witch she was sent to kill.
Talk about an unlikely alliance. It's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? Let's unpack this. We start with Sister Elise, a seasoned assassin who truly believes she's purging the world of evil.
Yeah, she sees herself as an instrument of divine justice. And then you've got Anya the healer. She's branded a witch for her abilities, but the sources you sent paint a very different picture. It seems she's actually using her powers to help people healing the sick in her village.
Exactly. Right off the bat, we see this clash between perception and reality. Anya is labeled a witch, a figure of fear and evil, but her actions suggest otherwise.
Okay, so how do these two, a holy assassin and a village healer, even cross paths?
Well, Elise is sent to eliminate Anya. It seems someone saw her healing practices as a threat. She tracks Anya to her hut and is ready to strike. But just as she's about to deliver the final blow, a child in the hut starts coughing, struggling to breathe. The sources describe the child as being on the verge of death.
Wow, that's intense. Talk about a moral dilemma. So what happens? Does Elise just carry on with the mission?
No, that's where it gets interesting. Anya, in a moment of pure desperation, begs Elise not to kill her in front of the children. It's a plea for mercy, not for herself, but for the innocent kids.
I can only imagine the impact that must have had on Elise. Here she is facing someone who's supposed to be evil. And yet Anya is showing incredible compassion.
Exactly, and it doesn't stop there. Anya proceeds to heal the child right in front of Elise, using what the sources call forbidden spells. Her hands are described as glowing and eerie green as she works. It's a powerful image, and it must have been quite a shock for Elise to witness.
So she's seeing this witch actually saving lives, using powers that her faith condemns. That's got to create some serious internal conflict for her.
Absolutely. Imagine being Elise in that moment. Your entire belief system, everything you've been taught about good and evil, is suddenly thrown into question.
Yeah, and while she's grappling with all this, soldiers arrive, ready to arrest Anya. Apparently someone tipped them off about her whereabouts.
And this is where Elise makes a choice that completely changes the game. Instead of standing aside or even helping the soldiers, she turns on them, defending Anya.
Wow, she goes from assassin to protector just like that. What a twist.
It's a complete 180. The sources describe a brutal battle that ensues. They call it a baptism of blood. This shared experience of fighting side by side. Elise is fighting with a ferocity we haven't seen before, and Anya is healing both the villagers and Elise.
It's amazing how this shared trauma, this violent encounter, forges such a strong bond between them. It makes you wonder if sometimes those kinds of intense life or death experiences can create connections that wouldn't be possible otherwise.
That's a really interesting point, Adrian. It challenges our assumptions about how trust and connection are built. We often think of shared positive experiences as the foundation of strong relationships, but this case suggests otherwise.
So we've got an assassin who turns against her own people and joins forces with a witch. Where does that leave us in terms of the bigger picture?
This story leaves us with so much to think about. What does it mean to have faith? How do we define good and evil? Is Elise a traitor to her faith, or did she find a higher calling? By choosing compassion over blind obedience?
It's truly a story that makes you question everything you thought you knew. Remember, folks, you could find more addictive true crime stories right here on the True Assassins podcast. Make sure to rate and follow us so you don't miss a single episode.